Welcome to the Disc Golf Show, guys. My name is Nick, and this is episode 24 of the 2025 season. Today is November 4th, which also happens to be my birthday. Take that for what it's worth. Actually, if I could ask for one thing, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Anyways, as you know, this show is brought to you in part by our sponsors, one being our local pro shop, Final Nine Sports, which has two locations in the Northern California, Sacramento area here, one in Orangevale, California, and one in Rocklin. So as always, we always suggest go support your local pro shop. You know, it's always good to support your local pro shop, and we always push people to do so. But, however, if you are unable to find what you do need or are looking for at your local pro shop, we have another sponsor for you to remedy that, and that is Disc Golf Deals USA. If you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow, you can get 10% off of your entire order, though some exclusions do apply, however few and far between they may be. One last thing, if you do have any book narration needs or are looking into possibly learning more about it, check out Justin at 4fife6.com. That is number 4, F-I-F-E, number 6.com for any of those needs. Let's jump into the news, guys. There really hasn't been hardly anything that's come across my desk recently. So outside of, we've got Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year stuff coming up. Those are still kind of in limbo right now. But I did want to, mention or talk about a little a round that I recently had. And ask you actually if you guys ever do these type of rounds. Do you ever have any milestone rounds? Do your such and such a number played at a certain course, your favorite course, your local course, the course you learned to play on? Recently, I had the opportunity and the privilege to be asked to play with a gentleman, friend of the show here, Kevin, on his 100th round at the course that I was lucky enough to be a co-designer of in Roseville, California. And it's in his neighborhood, and it kind of got him into disc golf, which is awesome. And he has only been playing for maybe 4 months and has 100 just at this one course. He has played some other courses, so he has more than 100 rounds overall, but he ended up playing his 100th round at the newest course in our area, at the Roseville course. And it was really cool that he asked me to be a part of that. Had a fun time with him and a couple of his friends out there. And it made me proud more than anything that not only, again, I was lucky enough to be a co-designer of it, but that brought more people to our sport. And it brought the neighborhood people, the people that live around that area that are close enough to possibly walk there or, whether it's a short drive or not, it's brought more people into our beloved sport. So I thought it was a really, really cool thing. Had a decent round out there. Seems like he is learning more and more as he goes. Again, he's only been playing for about 4 months, but also encouraging him and his friends to play in some tournaments in the coming year in 2026. Coming in at, maybe playing MA3 or something like that. I'm always out there trying to encourage people to better their game and be open to advice and anything that I can do to help them in their game. This kind of leads me, seeing as how this is it's not really a birthday episode, but it happens to land on my birthday. I thought I'd give you a little bit of background on my entry into the sport and journey, I guess, as you may call it. I first played back in 96, and a friend of mine, around 96, 95, a friend of mine introduced me to the sport at our local course, which ended up being actually a course that a lot of pros played in the older tour prior to the Disc Golf Pro Tour. So I got to see a lot of top tier pros play at my local course, which was really fun. Got to see a lot of cool lines and abilities that these pros had back in the day. And again, as always, it just grows. Now they're crazy better overall, and they've outgrown the par 3 courses, as we call them over here. But outside of that, I really started playing tournaments really in 06, I think is when I got my PDGA number. If you want to look me up, 28918, that's my number. I'm not going to be too impressed, but you know, there it is. And ended up traveling, not traveling a long distance, but a few hours. Played in the Steady Ed, what was it? Steady Ed Memorial in Santa Cruz at De La Viega course, which is a really world-renowned course. Again, kind of an older course, but it's still respected in the community. And outside of that, played locally, volunteered. You know, in addition to just playing, which, you know, I try to do here now, I've actually played probably more this year than I have in the past couple, at least. But outside of that, I volunteered at local tournaments. And when the US DGC came through in, I think it was 2022, I was part of the sponsorship team there. I've been on a couple disc golf club boards, currently on the Roseville one, and previously I was on the Folsom local club board, and got to see a lot of different perspectives on the sport, you know, dealing with the local government and actually personally working for state, knowing how those things, how the state works and runs on the inside, but also talking to them from an outside perspective and, you know, discussing the club's involvement with the city and the towns that these courses are located. And then currently, like I said, I was privileged, lucky enough to be a co-designer of our newest course here, and talking with the city with that, and how much goes into not only design, but just the prep of the property and parts of the growth of disc golf in that aspect in our area. Again, doing the podcast, been doing it since 2013, though we did have a little bit of a gap. We were able to be asked to be part of the St. Jude inaugural event in Monterey, which is really cool. So we did some live podcasting there, and that was a really fun experience. And again, thanks to PDGA for asking us to do so back then. And hopefully that would be a really cool event to come back. But again, let's move on. Yeah, I mean, I'm not just a guy who likes to play. I'm really probably more involved outside of the course than actually playing on the course nowadays. You know, I'm able to do more from my desk than I am out on the course, but hopefully moving forward, my goal is to possibly get some more courses in around our area, get more involved in maybe the pro side if possible as the show grows, and hoping it continues to grow. You know, it's more of a passion project than anything, but you know, if it does grow and I can help in other ways, maybe sponsoring the Pro Tour even at a low level, that's something that I'd love to do. And yeah, you know, I'm just doing what I can over here, and you know, hopefully you guys appreciate it. Hopefully you understand the back end and everything that goes into researching and stuff like that when it comes to all these shows, all these episodes that I do now. But yeah, I really truly appreciate those of you that subscribe, those of you that watch, comment. You know, it does mean more than you know, and I'm gonna keep doing these as long as I have the drive. And currently, I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So, again, shout out to Kevin, his 100th round at Roseville. It was a blast playing that round, and I'm sure I'll see him out there more and play some more rounds with him out there. And yeah, again, if you can, birthday wish, click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. But let's move on. Let's move on to the question of the episode. So this actually kind of got spurred on by a comment from our last episode. There was a gentleman that made a comment stating that he believes the sponsorships of players can hinder the actual player themselves due to the requirements that are asked by the manufacturer. So my question is very simply, do the requirements to be sponsored by a manufacturer hinder the ability of the athlete to concentrate on play versus thinning himself out and having to worry about marketing product and such? Let me know what you think. It was a really interesting take from my point of view, and definitely has some validity to it, because I can see that, you know, people not only do as, and yes, you know, Crimea River, I guess if you take it from that point of view, you know, you're going to get paid for playing disc golf. So you're going to have to do more than just play disc golf. I get that. But I mean, it can. If you get more and more involved on the manufacturer side as a player, as you rise the ranks and get paid more and more, you're gonna be asked to do more things. I mean, look at Paul. Paul's involved in all kinds of aspects of the game. Paul Macbeth and Ulivari. Simon Lizotte. Lizotte's a big name in the sport, and he has you know, his social media that he does, his channel. There's a lot there that goes into how you get sponsored and what they expect of you. So what do you think? Do you think that it would be better if they weren't required to do all this social media stuff on their end? Or do you think, hey, that's just part of the game and that's what you're gonna have to deal with? Let me know down in the comments below. And let's move on to gear and equipment, guys. There have been a couple approved discs. And before we actually get into that, let me tell you that this segment is brought to you by, again, Disc Golf Deals USA. So any of these discs that we talk about, any of these products, go on their website, check it out, see if they have it. If you go through discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow, you can get 10% off of your entire order, though there are a few exclusions that do apply. But if you're looking for a basket, a cart, a bag, apparel, obviously plastic, get that 10% off, save some money. Okay, so recently approved yesterday on November 3rd was the Proto 99A by Gateway Disc Sports. And then in addition to that one was the Outer Core by Trash Panda. And I know that if you follow disc golf and you know Trash Panda, they recycle plastic to make their discs. Super awesome process. The goal behind their business is amazing. They deserve all the support that they can get. The outer core, so they do have an inner core, which is their putter. So this outer core actually looks like that same putter, but with a bead. So if you are a fan of their plastics, go check them out. The Outer Core by Trash Panda. Upcoming or recent releases, mostly upcoming because Black Friday is coming up at the end of the month. It's basically mystery box season now. The next couple months are going to be mystery box season. So product-wise, as I've discussed in previous episodes, the MVP Gyropalooza box will be releasing on Black Friday, but they are doing pre-sales, I believe, at different dealers. Again, go check out discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshows, see if they have it. They're averaging, it looks like the price is about 120 bucks. It's going to involve about 11 discs. They're saying 4 special editions, 2 R2 Neutrons, and 5 lab seconds. So that's 11 discs for $120. And then, as always, this time of year, you have Discmania Mystery Boxes. Now this year, they've kind of changed it a little bit. They have 5 different versions this year. And I believe they're naming them all, but I only have a couple of them currently. So all these mystery boxes out of the 5, they're going to be, it looks like they're all going to be $99.99. The first one is called the Noodle Arm box. It's 7 discs, 5 premium plastics and 2 durable baseline plastics. There is the Glow Mania box, and these are all red editions because I think later on in the year they release a black edition or something like that. The Glow Mania box will hold 6 discs, all glow-in-the-dark premium plastics. And then again, for the last 3, version 3, 4, and 5, don't have the names right now for those. They don't have them listed on their website. But outside of that, if you do want to get more than one, get those as soon as possible because there are limited counts for each of these boxes. But if you don't want more than one, you can get 10% off of your order. And then finally, you can actually get all 5 and a decent discount on them. So if you're looking at 5 boxes at $99, we're about $500, right? If you get the red edition all-in bundle, you get all 5 boxes, and that is $419.99. So that's an $80 savings, almost a full box for free if you go and do the red edition all-in bundle. I would suggest doing that if you are a Discmania fan. You're going to get 4 boxes and an extra $20 for the 5th. But yeah, guys, product-wise, that's all we've got for the upcoming releases and recent, quote-unquote, recent releases. And then as always, last things we like to inform you of are shoes. Shoes are something you use on every throw. So we promote those that support disc golf. And those 2 companies currently mainly are Vessi shoes. So those are waterproof. They have high tops, low tops, all different styles. But I think it's the Stormbreaker, something like that. They're great shoes. I have a pair of them. The high tops, they're knitted style shoes, but they're waterproof. So going into this winter season, that's a plus. And they do have a bit of a rake to the sole. But if you are looking for something more of a flat-footed style, zero style shoe, go to Ideo Sports. Ideosports.com. They just actually announced their 2 new versions of their low tops and their high tops, which are the Syncrasy Evo and the Brawler, and their V2s, I believe, version 2. So go check those out. Again, more of a flat-footed style shoe. There's a very, very, very slight rake to those. But yeah, lightweight, waterproof again. Great, great option. I have those. They're wonderful. I would love to get a Brawler to try out the high top. But yeah, guys, go check those out for your shoe, disc golf shoe needs. And then as for upcoming events, later this week, guys, it's the last real big event of the season for the pros. November 7th to 9th is the DGPT Match Play Championship, and that is going to be held in Charlotte, North Carolina. And before we get to the end of the show, we do like to do a couple reviews or products that we want to share with you. I'm going to fall back on, for the product review, I'm going to fall back on Brixton, guys. Brixton Cards, I've been getting a little bit kind of into, not for me necessarily, but they are fun to look at and rip, is Pokemon with my daughter, or daughters. And Brixton, man, if you like cards and you love disc golf, which if you're watching this, you've got to, go check out Brixton Cards. You can get some of their most recent Tour Series boxes or packs on the Disc Golf Pro Tour shop site, and I'll have the links down below for these 2 options. But for the Parallel Universe, which is the 2025 Tour Season packs and boxes, the box is $179.99. And the link will be down below. And then if you want to just get a pack or 2, those packs run $9.99. So again, Disc Golf Pro Tour, you can go to their shop and pick up whichever version of those you like. Outside of that, the video that we suggest for this episode is going to the Disc Golf Network. And if you haven't checked them out, go do so. I know that they're doing some sort of a promotion for the remainder of this year, which again leads into the totality of next year. So you can purchase a subscription and get all of next year and the remaining of this year. If you have a PDGA number, you can get a significant discount on the cost of that subscription. And for their off season, they do provide content during the off season. So I know there's like 4 months or so in between the end of one season and the beginning of the next. But currently, they just recently started posting their putting game content, which is always fun. It's always a variety of pros, and they hold it at different, locations, locales, and challenge them with fun and strange putts, and all for points and winning and gloating and all that good stuff that the pros like to do and provide some of this content to you. It's always appreciated by the viewers, by myself. It's fun to watch, and they tend to have some sort of documentaries that are involved as well, which are fun to watch. And I like that type of thing because you can learn a lot more of the personalities and characters of the players and whoever's involved in those documentaries. But go check them out. Disc Golf Network, The Putting Game, hosted by Coling and guest, usually. That leads us to the end of the show, guys. Thank you again for watching. Hopefully you understand that I'm not just some guy that has a podcast for disc golf, but I am pretty involved in the sport, especially locally, but I try to do what I can outside of just my Northern California area. So if you are looking for saving some money, we do have options for that. If you're looking for a disc golf bag, you can go to upperparkdiscgolf.com and you can use code DiscGolfShow and save some money via the Upper Park Disc Golf website. And then again, big shout out to Disc Golf Deals USA. Go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow. Save 10% off of your entire order. So if you're looking to get a lot of stuff, go save some money while you're at it. There are a few exclusions that apply. But yeah, big shout out to Disc Golf Deals USA for sponsoring our show this year. Really appreciate it. And as always, thank you to Final Nine Sports, our local pro shop. 2 locations if you are in Northern California, Sacramento area. There's 1 location in Orangevale, California at Shady Oaks Disc Golf Course, and 1 location at Rocklin Disc Golf Course at Johnson Springview Park up there. So thank you again to our sponsors. Again, if you could do me a huge birthday favor, hit that subscribe button, like, share, that always helps, and hit the notification bell if you do want to do so. And thank you guys, I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.